Are you ready to start making your very first crochet project? Let's get started! Today we are making this cute chick, and this is Amigurumi. Amigurumi is the Japanese art of crocheting or knitting small toys. So let's get started. You'll need some orange yarn and yellow yarn. You'll also need to get some stitch markers from Amazon or any other store, which you can get in the links down below. Please click on them to support the channel. And you'll also need some needles that are big enough so that your yarn can go through the hole. You will also need some safety eyes, which you can also get on Amazon, and they're in the links down below, so go click on them and get these supplies. You also need your hook from the last video, and make sure to use the hook that your yarn says is the right size. Okay, let's get started. First, we're going to use our yellow yarn and we're going to make a chick. This is going to be one of the easiest projects to get started with, and before you go and look at another video, yes, this is the easiest one. Don't try to make any granny squares because you never go back to making the other 100. So let's get started. First, remember how to hold the yarn and the hook. Thumb, first finger, other fingers wrapped around, and wrap once, go behind, in front of the finger. If none of that made sense, make sure and go watch the video from last Sunday so that you can get the hang of holding your yarn and making your first stitch. We're going to make something called a magic loop. I think you guys are ready for this after you've watched the last video from Sunday. But this is one of the trickiest steps in crocheting. So first, we're going to wrap it around our hand, just like this. So around our pinky once, behind our ring finger, and in front of our forefinger. And now we're going to make it a little longer, and we're going to wrap it around our first finger again so that it makes an X. Now we're going to slide this off, and we're going to put our thumb and middle finger right where that X crosses, just like that. Make sure you have a little bit of excess. If you are very new, then make sure this is a little longer. Now we're going to have our hook and we're going to just slip it right in here. We're going to yarn over once, and now we're going to yarn over a second time, pulling through all of that. Now we can let go, but it's sliding apart, so make sure that you keep its shape. Now we've got our magic ring. We're going to put 6 more single crochets in our magic loop, and you can call it a magic loop or a magic ring. We're going to stick our hook back in and make sure that this piece of yarn is still in its same position, and we're going to yarn over once, and then we have 2 loops on the hook, and then we're going to yarn over again and pull through both of those, just like whenever we were single crocheting in our rectangle piece. We're going to do that 5 more times now, and we're going to stick our hook in, leaving the yarn piece staying in the same spot. Yarn over once. Now we have 2 loops. Yarn over again, pull through. Now we're going to do this 4 more times. So we're sticking it in, yarn over, pull through, 2 loops, yarn over, pull through. Now we've got 3. As you can see here, you can look at my stitches and you can see that there's 1 V, 2 V's, and 3 V's. You want to be thinking in the V's so that you can know how to count them. If your yarn comes undone, we will wrap it around just like normal. Now, let's do this 3 more times. Stick it straight in, leaving the yarn just how it was, and we're going to make sure that it's just parallel to the other piece, and we're going to yarn over. Now we have 2 loops, yarn over again. Now we have another V. 2 more times, we're going to stick it right in, make sure that those are parallel, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. Now we're going to do it once more. Yarn over, yarn over. Okay, now we've got 6, and let's make sure that we do. We're going to count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, now here comes the magic part. This is what all amigurumis start with, or at least most. Now we're going to pull this string, and as long as you had it in the same spot and it would just go, you would just go under it like this, then this should work. We're going to pull this and it should get tighter, just like this. Now we're going to rewrap our hand, and now we're going to look at this. So now we see that there is a gap and then a little loop and then another V. We're going to stick our crochet hook into that next V. And if you can't see that V, you can see that there's 2 loops. So I'm under 1 and now I'm under 2. So what you're going to do is you're going to yarn over and pull through those. And now you're going to yarn over and pull through those. Now we're going to get our stitch markers, and we're just going to take 1 and we're going to put it in that V that we just made. And you always want to be in the habit of using these stitch markers because it will help you know how many stitches you've done in a round and all kinds of things once you get into more advanced projects. So let's stick this right in to that last V. So we're just going to put it under that V, and now we're going to just clip that, and now we've got that stitch marked. Don't worry about this extra long string, just make sure you don't get any stitches in it. So what we're going to do something called an increase stitch. What we did was a single crochet into that, but an increase stitch is where we go into that same V and do another single crochet. So let's do that. So now we just completed an increase stitch. This will make the ring grow larger instead of go down or up. We're going to do increases all around, so you should have 12 stitches. Let's stick our hook right into this next one, and we're going to increase. So we're going to do 1 single crochet and then a second single crochet. So now we've done 4 single crochets. Let's do it to the next one. Stick it in, 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets. Next one, 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets. Next one, 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets, and last one, 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets. So now we have a larger ring, and you can see that this hole is getting larger, so if you want to, you can pull this tight and it'll get smaller. So now we are done with round 2, and we're going to do a mix. We're going to do a single crochet and then an increase in the next stitch. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our stitch marker out to do this single crochet. So we're going to do 1 single crochet, and now we're going to stick it back in because that's the new stitch of the round. And now we're going to do an increase. So we're going to do 2 single crochets. We're going to repeat this pattern, single crochet, increase, around the whole thing, doing them in each of their own stitches. So now we're going to do a single crochet, increase, single crochet, increase, single crochet, increase, single crochet, increase. And remember, an increase is 2 single crochets in 1 stitch. Single crochet and increase. So now we've got an even larger circle, but you can see that it's starting to turn in. So we're going to do another round, and it's going to just be single crochets all around. So we're going to take out that stitch marker, and we're going to go in and do another single crochet, just 1. And now we're going to put the stitch marker right back in to mark the first stitch of the round. And now we're going to go all around the whole circle, just doing 1 single crochet in each stitch. Okay, so now we've worked our way all around the whole thing, and now it's starting to curve in more, and we did single crochets all around. So this is what yours should look like, and it's okay if your stitches are not this tight because you're just a beginner and I've had practice, but yours should look similar to this. Now we're going to do a single crochet increase again like we did the round before. Let's take our stitch marker out, and we're going to put a stitch right into this first one, just a single crochet, and now we're going to put the stitch marker right back in. This marks the first stitch of the round. Now let's do an increase stitch in the next spot. So that is 2 single crochets. Now do 1 single crochet, 1 increase, 1 single crochet, 1 increase, and we're going to keep doing this all around. Okay, so now we're done with that round, and it's starting to curve a lot. The increase stitches will help expand your circle, and the single crochet stitches will start to make it go down. So combining these two in a single crochet increase will help them to become wider and start curving. Now we're going to single crochet all around for a couple more rounds. So we're going to do that for 4 more rounds. So take out your stitch marker and put a stitch in the first one, and now put your stitch marker back in. So now we're just going to go around. We're just going to do it once first, and then I'm going to tell you about the rest. So we're just going to single crochet all around the whole thing. Okay, so now we've gone around once, and we're going to do that a couple more times. So we're going to take our stitch marker out. We're going to stick our hook into both loops like before, and we're going to yarn over and yarn over again, which is a single crochet, and we're going to add our stitch marker right back in. We're going to go around the whole thing again. Okay, so now we've gone around twice with single crochets, and this is starting to get to be the body of our chick. This will be the head. So now we're going to go around 2 more times, and we're going to take our stitch marker out. We're going to put our hook under the 2 loops, yarn over again. That's a single crochet, and we're going to put our stitch marker right back in. Single crochet around this whole thing again. Okay, now we're going to do this one more time to go all the way around. So take out your stitch marker, do a single crochet, put your stitch marker right back in, and single crochet all the way around. Okay, so now we've single crocheted all the way around 4 times. Now we're going to add the eyes. My size eyes are the largest size in my pack so that they can be very cute. You can use whatever size eyes you want. We're going to look at our stitches and we're going to count the rows. So we're going to count the stitches that are lining right here is row 1, and then this next one is row 2. And we're going to add our eyes right here in between rows 6 and 7. So you can add your eyes wherever you want, but I'm going to add my eyes right here between rows 6 and 7, about 5 stitches apart, just like this. So we can just stick our eyes right into the spot that we want them, and now we can just flip this up, and we can take the little end pieces to clip these on, and we're just going to place them right here, and we're going to push. And then once you hear that click or that snap, or just you can feel that it pushed in and you can't get them out, then you know it's secure. Do the same to the other side, and now we've got our eyes in our chick. Now we're going to keep going with our chick. Take your stitch marker out, and we're going to do a single crochet decrease. So after we do our 1 single crochet and put our clip back in, I'm going to teach you what a decrease is. So we're going to do a decrease, and a decrease, or an invisible decrease, is where you take your hook and you put it under the first loop, only the first of the next one, and then you turn it down and slide it under the first loop of the next one. But the back loops are still there and you don't have them on your hook. Now you're going to yarn over and pull through those first 2, yarn over once more, and pull through the last one. That's called an invisible decrease or a decrease. Now we're going to do another single crochet, and you can tell that you're going to do a single crochet in this one and not this one, because this one has already been pulled, and you can see that it's hard to see through that loop, and there's something different about it. So we'll go into that next one and single crochet 1. Now we're going to do our decrease again. So let me show that to you again. We're going to stick our hook under the first loop of the next stitch, and then we're going to turn it and put it under the first loop of the next one. We're going to yarn over, pull through those first two, yarn over again, and pull through the last two. Now we're going to just keep doing that. We're going to single crochet and then decrease, so go under the first ones of those two, and we're going to pull through and yarn over, just like that. Do a single crochet, and now we're going to do our decrease again, and you may have to try to move the eyes slightly to get to your stitches, but we're going to go under the first, and then you can go under the second and yarn over, and there you go. Keep going around the whole thing. So now we're going to decrease, and now single crochet, decrease, single crochet, decrease, single crochet, decrease, single crochet, and now we're going to single crochet one more time if you have an extra hole. If not, that's perfectly fine too. Okay, now you can see that it's starting to get smaller. So now we're going to just single crochet all the way around. So put your stitch marker back in after that first single crochet, and now let's single crochet all the way around. Okay, so now that we have single crocheted all the way around, we're going to get some stuffing, and if you don't have stuffing, you can take any yarn and you can start stuffing it with the yarn. So I'll show you that, but use stuffing if you have it, but take any little bit of yarn just like this and start unwinding it. And it doesn't matter if it gets knotted up, and you're just going to put all of that right in there. So you can just take your yarn, and if you don't want to use your yarn, then go buy some stuffing, and if you want that, it's on a link down below to my Amazon account, so you can go get that there. And so keep unwinding your yarn if you're using your yarn, and you need to stuff your plushie, otherwise it'll just be a flat piece that does not look like a stuffed animal. And you need to make sure that it's unwound, otherwise it will just be a hard piece of yarn inside there. But now we have some yarn, and we can just stuff that in there, and you may not need it all, so we can take a scissors and you can just cut off this whole thing, and it's okay if it's not all in one piece anymore, but we can just put that in there. And we can save this little bit for later whenever we finish it. But now that it's stuffed, we can take our stitch marker out again, and we're going to do another single crochet, and then we're going to do another single crochet decrease. The only reason I do not like having the same color yarn inside your plushie is that sometimes it gets confusing whenever you need to find your stitches, but it does look better instead of having green yarn in a... Now let's do our decrease. So get the first piece of each stitch, yarn over and pull through both of those, yarn over and pull through those. Keep going around, single crochet, decrease around your whole plushie. Okay, So now we've gone all the way around, and now it seems that it's getting low on stuffing, so just add in that last bit, and if it doesn't all fit, then leave a little bit out, but mine all fits, so we're going to leave it just like that. And now we're going to take this out and we're going to do just decreases. So we're going to just start and do 1, and you don't have to put this back in on the last row because you're going to be taking it out anyway. So there's 1, and we're going to do 6. 1, now 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So now we're done with the body. So we're just going to take this piece and we're going to cut it pretty long since this is your first one. And we're going to just pull straight through. Now you can pull this knot, and there we go. So now you've got a ball with eyes. And now we're going to take our needle and we're going to thread it through with this yarn, just like this, and we're going to just go straight across from right here, pull tight, go into this next, just go straight across. We're trying to tighten up this hole, and if you have a big hole, that's okay. And just go right over here. And now we've got a tight hole. Now we're going to just push this straight through all the way to the top. We're gonna pull right there. We're going to even this out just like that. You don't have to pull too hard so that it's not noticeable. And now cut the yarn right here out of the head, and you can massage it if it's still sticking out. But there we go. Now we're done with the body of our chick. Okay, now we're going to make a wing for our chick. This is the first wing, and we're going to make something just like it. This will be a little bit tricky, so get ready. Get your yellow yarn, and first we're going to start off and wrap it around our hand. As you might have already guessed, we're making another magic loop. We're going to wrap it around our finger once so that it'll make this X, and we'll put the loop just like this and put our middle finger and thumb on where it meets up. Now take our hook, put it in your hand just like this, and now we're going to first yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. Now move your fingers to right here. We're going to first single crochet 1, and now we're going to do something called a half double crochet, or an HDC. We're going to yarn over before we go in, just like this, and then we're going to go in, yarn over a second time, and now we're going to pull through all of that. Okay, that was a half double crochet. Don't worry, we'll practice more at the end. Now we're going to do something called a double crochet. This is not a half double crochet, but it's the second half of the half double crochet added on. So yarn over first, go in, yarn over a second time, yarn over a third, but don't pull through all, pull through these first 2 only, and now yarn over a last time and pull through those last 2. We're going to do this 2 more times. So we're going to say that again. We're going to yarn over, yarn over, yarn over, and last yarn over. Okay, that was 3 times. So now we're gonna do the half double crochet again. So we do the first step like the double crochet, just like this. And now instead of pulling through these 2, you're gonna pull through all of them. Okay, now we're gonna do 1 more single crochet. And now we're done. We're going to pull this magic loop and pull it out again so that it makes a half circle. And now we're going to take our scissors, cut a long piece off, pull through, and we're going to tie these 2 strings together, just like that, and then leave the long string, this one, but cut this little one off. Okay, now you can repeat these steps to make your second one, but I already have my second one, so let me tell you the steps again. Make a magic loop, so let me demonstrate with you. So go around, make an X on your finger. Now you're going to put your thumb and middle finger on where it crosses, and then you're going to single crochet. You're going to yarn over, and then you're going to yarn over a second time. Adjust your positioning. Single crochet, half double crochet, 3 double crochets, 1 half double crochet, 1 single crochet, and then you're going to pull tight, cut, and tie. If you need to do it again with an instruction video, then make sure to scroll it back and watch me do the last one. So now we're done with the yellow, and we're going to attach these wings on. So get your needle again, and we're going to thread the needle with this yarn and find whichever side is bigger we're going to put on the bottom, and then go to one side and just stick it straight under and in, just about that big, and pull tight. You're going to keep just sewing on this wing, so you can keep going under and grabbing. I'm making mine so that it can not be attached at the bottom, so it can flap. And now we're just going to go through the entire body. And cut this. Okay, so now we've got one wing, and now we're going to do the other. Thread your needle with the other yarn, and now go to this side. Try to find that same row that you added this one onto, and add this one on. Make sure it's turned the opposite way, well, like the same way that this one is. And now we're going to just keep sewing this one on and go straight through the whole body and cut. Okay, so now we've got 2 wings, just like that. And now it's time to make the beak. Get out your orange yarn if you have it, or get out any other color yarn if you want to use a different color. And now we're going to take the end of this yarn, and we're going to make another magic loop. So make this X, put it between your middle finger and thumb, make your magic loop by yarning over twice and pulling through. Now you're going to do 8 single crochets inside. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now we're going to pull this tight and we're going to cut this piece, and there we go. Now we're going to tie this together, cut this very short piece, and there we go. Now let's attach this on by threading the needle and putting it right here on the face. Make sure it's right here. And now we're going to just move this around so that the nose is showing like you want it. And now we're just going to go up and back down and sew all the way around and then go all the way through the back and cut. There we go. And now we're done with our very first amigurumi chick. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoyed creating more. See you next time. Bye!